you marry your parents.
This one has some truth to it.
A lot of truth.
A lot of truth. So we had our researcher, Stacy, and they were talking about marriages, and they found that 80% of marriages are based off of your attachment wounds.
Yeah.
So it does have to do with mommy and daddy a lot.
Yeah. And attachment wounds are basically these different attachment styles that we develop because of our relationship to our parents. It's that first relationship that we kind of experience in life. And these actually can begin, we're finding that they start at the time of pregnancy. Like they begin in the womb, right? And they continue through our childhood.
Yeah. And the premise is the first 3 years are the most important in terms of that attachment style.
So oftentimes we will end up marrying a person that kind of emulates the attachment style that we are familiar with our parents. So let's give an example. Let's say that growing up, your father was kind of the avoidant personality. He was a charismatic businessman that was usually away from the home. When he was there, you were always seeking his approval. You wanted to get his love and attention because when you did, it felt like he was this sun kind of shining this light on you. And so that became something you were always looking for. So you develop this kind of anxious attachment style where you're always seeking approval. You kind of get this people-pleasing nature. When you encounter somebody that is like your father, this charismatic kind of outgoing person who kind of feels like a catch, right? They kind of feel like you have to win them over. It has this strange sense of familiarity where you almost feel like it's destined, it's fate, it's euphoric.
Yeah, this person feels like the one.
And in reality, we're kind of replaying this childhood trauma.
Yeah, you're playing that wound because it's coming up from a space of desperation. So they're not recognizing it, but unconsciously they're like, oh, I get to heal this part of myself through this person.
So not only did our researcher come up with that 80% number, I've actually seen a number of recent TED Talks and articles from other research talking about just the likelihood that you are going to marry the wrong person. Like this is an actual thing, that you are more likely than not going to marry the wrong person. And much of it comes down to simply these attachment wounds.
They're unresolved, so it's an opportunity for you to work through them.
Yeah. So bottom line, there is a lot of truth to you marry your parents.
No, it's true. And then it could be the opposite too. So let's say in that example, well, since my daddy wasn't around, I'm going to pick a partner that stays at home all the time and does whatever the hell I say. Mm-hmm. It may look like they've healed the issue, but they're just playing it the other way. So now they're the kind of the distant parent or they're the distant partner and they're still playing out their wounds. So it could play in multiple forms.
Well, and very likely that would be based off of the other caretaker in the home, right? Maybe mom did stay home and did all that. So they end up marrying the person that was more like mom, or maybe the caretaker was grandma or a nanny or whatever it might have been. But you vacillate between those extremes.
You're internalizing it all.
Okay, so you marry your parents is actually quite accurate on a lot of levels. That's not so much a cliche or myth. Well, I mean, it is cliche, but it is.
But it has truth to it.
An accurate one.